Tell the heroes who are going back to Africa this year as the last cohort, tell them something and give them hope, man.
Brothers, we live in the time of changes. Adopting to changes is one of the most beautiful things one can do for oneself. So when you see the changes, be agile, be quick, look at the changes, adopt the changes, and hope for the best all the time. I wish you all the best when you go back home, and keep on representing the company and yourself and the church. And don't forget, the best that you found in Norway could be used in Africa.
Haya basi, mwenzangu, karibu sana kwenye kikao hiki.
Asante sana.
Ambako tunakwenda kuzungumza kuhusiana na program nzima ya Norsk Bokforlag. Nafikiri wewe ni mmoja kati ya vigogo wa kitambo sana. When did you join the program?
I first joined the program in 1995.
Oh, that was long, man.
That's very long.
I didn't know. How old were you in 1995?
By then, when I joined the program, I was about 26 years.
26 years. Yeah. Oh, that has been a long journey.
It has.
Yeah. Take us to the back of how you joined and how it was.
The program was quite nice at that time. I could say that the program was run in a very different way from today. There were no digital ways of life. We used to call each other very primitively in a way.
Analytical ways.
Analytical. And you could imagine that we communicated through letters.
In that year of 1996?
95, 96, 97.
Is that how you received acceptance to Kenya?
We received acceptance through letters, registered mails. And then when we came here, when we wanted to communicate with each other, of course, we used letters too.
And within Norway?
Within Norway. And
you didn't have phones?
We didn't have phones.
Like we do have phones?
You have phones, you call each other. But with us, on Mondays, we used to send letters with the report. And the letters came to Norsk Bokforlag. And next report, they were dispatched with books to the territories. So you can imagine that if I wrote a letter to you, you could get it after 2 weeks.
That's crazy. So how did you know about the program?
I knew about the program through my teachers and the relatives, because I had a brother who was participating in the program in Sweden, which was closed in 1994.
1994.
And I was accepted there. I should have come to Sweden, but all the students who were in Sweden were moved to Norway in 95. Those who wanted to keep on with the program.
My friend, you look so young to talk about 1994 at 25, 26 in 1994. Are you lying?
I'm not. I'm 55 years old today. So still going strong.
Maybe we needed to have a secret from you. So let's keep on. 1996, you received an acceptance in an analog way.
I did.
And how did it happen?
And then I had made an application, and then I was accepted. I received the acceptance letter. Then I came for canvassing. My first canvassing, I was in Stavanger.
Oh.
And therefore I worked around Stavanger down to Farsund. This is, by then it was called Rogaland Fylke. That's where I was working.
Okay. We have been using mopeds. Were there mopeds in those years?
In those years, there were mopeds. But luckily, when I came, we used to come to Norway. All the Commonwealth countries would go to Europe without visa. Okay. So when I was accepted, I went to England and I worked for about a month. Okay. Then I bought a car, I drove here. And then I was working in my territory using my car.
Okay. So you came to Norway, but you went to England?
I came to Norway through England.
You didn't work only for summer and go back to school? Or?
I did. When I came here, I worked the whole summer, and then I returned to England. I left my car there, before I came into England, then I was informed that there has been introduced a visa system. Okay. So I went back to Sweden and I stayed there for a month and went back to school in then Tanzania Adventist College.
Okay, which is Arusha now?
Arusha University today.
Okay. Oh, tell us, do you remember anybody and where they are maybe? Can you try to mention one, two guys of those times?
The people I worked with here.
Yeah.
Hey, I was with Caleb Migombo, and I was with some other people who are in England today, Omar Sende, and I can remember my brother Andrew Singo, and there was an Aloysius Ntiwunka, there was a Seta Sare, there was a Jonah Moa, who is a lecturer today in Bugema University.
Okay. So this program was key by then, and it has been for all those years. What do you think the program did to you and has been doing to others in general?
What I can see most out of this program are blessings. I wouldn't have been in Norway if it wasn't this program. That's me. But also I can look at others who are lecturers, some people who have been able to venture the different kind of businesses. Yeah. I can mention one who finished when I was starting. This is Dr. Masanja in Tanzania, who was able to start a very good school known as Mukidoma, and which continued and developed to be a university and different kind of levels of education, and it has been a blessing to many. So I really have seen that this program has been a blessing to many people.
What were the challenges of that times, and when did you finish the program?
I finished the program in 1999.
1999, only 3 years in the program?
5 years.
5 years. From
95 to 99.
95 to 99, those were many years. You finished, and what were the challenges?
Most of the challenges here, if I can remember, comparing to the developments at which we are in, communication. But otherwise, everything was right. We worked and we settled our accounts. Sometimes, yes, there were some challenges where we didn't receive enough money for the school, but that wouldn't be a big challenge because with the little that we had, we managed at schools.
Okay. You have seen, I'm sure Norway was not like it is today. So you've seen Norway grow as the program grows. What has been the growth of Norway in terms of?
What I can talk about the growth in Norway are the prices of the books and the economy in its entirety. There has been a lot of, when I hear that a student has been able to sell for 450,000, that was a lot. Okay. In comparison to our time where maybe the maximum would be 300,000, 250. Those were the best-selling people where we could see that would be a dream. Yeah. But usually we would be at 150, 180. That was a normal
but of course the value of time of money by then was higher.
Exactly.
Even when you go back to East Africa and so forth. And so you mentioned that you are in Norway. So you settled in Norway, you're here.
I did.
You have worked in the same organization?
Actually, after deciding that I would settle in Norway, then I came and I polished my language and other types. I added some education different from what I did in Barton. Then I was employed with government entities, been working with Norwegian road authorities. I've been working with environment. I've been working with national health insurance, and then later Carlos, who came into the program in 1996, then asked me if I could join in these 2 last years.
So you worked together with him as students?
No, 2 last years I came to assist him with the student program.
Okay.
But when I was living in Tonsberg, where I settled, I never stopped working with students.
Okay.
Every time when students came, I received them, I helped them to go into different territories, helping them to get houses, sometimes hosting them in my home, knowing that they needed sometimes to live free of charge, so that they can maximize their profit.
Oh, great. Yeah, now the program's curtains have been closed after, they say, 58 years. What is your feeling?
It is really difficult to accept it, but at the same time, you could accept that some things come to the end. When things have beginnings, have the end too.
Kila kilicho na mwanzo.
Kila kilicho mwanzo hakikosi kuwa na mwisho. But at the same time, I can see that God has His ways. If it comes to the end the way it is, it might emerge as something else, which is in the hands of God. He knows what He's doing.
As an insider for the last 2 years, can you give the justification to a closure of this program?
Actually, I can't say that I can justify it, but at the same time, I can trust what is being said by the administration, that it is very risky, especially economically, and maybe the little part of it that I can see the justification could be connected to COVID. That there are a lot of books which were printed, prepared for the program, but the program never came, and that's kind of locking such a big amount of capital for several years without knowing what should be done.
Okay.
So that's a part of justification that I could say.
Tell the heroes who are going back to Africa this year, the last cohort, tell them something and give them hope, man.
Brothers, we live in the time of changes. Adopting to changes is one of the most beautiful things one can do for oneself. So when you see the changes, be agile, be quick, look at the changes, adopt the changes, and hope for the best all the time. I wish you all the best when you go back home, and keep on representing the company and yourself and the church, and don't forget the best that you found in Norway could be used in Africa.
Thank you.